speaking about some of the different stages of spirituality.
Yeah.
There were thousands, you say?
Yeah, there are many thousands and thousands of different spiritual stages. But obviously all of them will come back to very limited number, but each of them have got many like branches.
Are they all on the same level?
No. Some is much above than the other.
Oh.
Okay, so for example, have you heard about this disagreement about which is better, sabr or shukr?
Sabr, so patience or
gratefulness. Big debatable issue in Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. For example, the poor but patient person and rich and grateful, which one of them two is more glorious? Have you heard about this one? It's very... so anyway, shukr is above sabr. Okay, because in the sabr, you are patient. But in shukr, not only patient, but more than that, you are grateful. You understand? So it is some is more higher than the other.
So if you're a person that's extremely grateful, it's easier to be patient.
And of course, for you to be grateful, you have to first gain the sabr, level of patience. Then, based on that, you jump to get the shukr, which is above that. Because shukr does not exist without sabr, but sabr can exist without shukr. So it is different levels.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe another example is sidq. Sidq. Okay, sidq is one of the most highest levels. Sidq is truthworthiness in our language. But actually, sidq is truthfulness, not only in your word and not in your acts only, but by your heart also. Okay, so do you know, for example, I will give you just small example, very small example. Let's suppose that you came to me saying that you're my student, you want to learn, that's what you are saying. But your acts, your behavior is proving that you came to insult me. Do you understand? So how do you like this person? You actually dislike him, isn't it? Because his word is opposing to his action. Okay, but what about if someone comes to you saying, I'm your student, and physically he's learning, but in his heart he's playing long run game. After a long time he wants to beat you. How do you feel about that? You dislike him even more, isn't it? Okay, and that's how you can take it to the next and further stages. Okay, and the sidq is when all of them are perfectly matching in positive way. What you say is exactly what you do, and what you do is exactly what you believe, and what you believe is exactly what you feel, and what you feel is exactly what you trust. Do you understand? Because human being, how many things shape the human being? What do you think?
Yeah.
Quite a lot. Emotions, habits, feelings, like intellect and words, okay, and many things, isn't it? So when all of them are just perfectly coming and matching, so that's what sidq is. Sidq is the most highest level. Even siddiqs, according to Islam, is just right after the prophets. The level of the siddiqs, okay, truthfulness, is just right after the prophets, level of prophethood. Okay, so that is quite high level, Siddiq. Yeah, so I remember I was just young kid, maybe aged 15, 16.
So just maybe 10 years ago?
No, 2-3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2-3 years ago. So I remember me asking my teacher, because for me, just saying the truth, because even, you know, the people who are killed, we call them shaheed. Okay, so for example, people are invading into your home, and you just defend your family, and they kill you. So you are shaheed. Okay, but then we Muslims believe that Siddiq is above shaheed. So for me, it was confusing. So I asked my teacher, saying, Sheikh, how come that you being killed for the sake of the truth, to defend your family, is less than you being truthful? Okay, so then I don't remember what my teacher told me, replied, but I was not convinced by the answer. Okay, but when you leave, when you go out to the people, then you understand how difficult is truthfulness. So there are many different levels of truthfulness, isn't it? Some people, they could be truthful only about what they say, but what they do, they are liars. Okay, some people could be other way around. Some people could be truthful about what they say and what they do, but what they feel, they are liars. Okay, and that's how different. But truthful means all of them being truthful, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, by your heart, okay, by your habits, subconsciously, consciously, all of them being truthful. That is much more difficult than shaheed.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we also lie to ourselves, we're not honest with ourselves.
Most of the time, yeah. Most of the time. I think all of the time we lie to ourselves.
Is that because, is the truth ugly? Is it painful? Does it hurt?
That could be, or it could be heavy, it could be many things. For example, I have my culture, okay, in which I believe that wearing turban is part of Islam. Then suddenly it turns out to be as a cultural thing. So now, for me to admit it, it will cost admitting that all of our scholars that I used to worship, all of them were wrong, and my culture was wrong, and my tradition was wrong, and my studies, which I have done for 20 years, all of that is wrong, and I have been promoting and teaching it for 10 years, so I have to admit that all of that is wrong. So that's quite difficult, heavy. Okay, so but then truthfulness necessitates that you have to admit. Okay, you have to say that it is actually, it was wrong. So it's quite heavy thing. Truthfulness is quite heavy thing, quite difficult.
Yeah. Okay. But we do have the strength to overcome it.
If God is ordering us to do so, definitely we do have strength to do it. Yes. But are we going to use it, or are we going to just keep it with ourselves? This strength. That's the question.